Hey everybody, I just wanted to give you an update today. I've been kind of MIA from all of this because we've had some really tough stuff going on in our life right now, as I'm sure everybody has. This virus has really affected our lives dramatically because of everything that's going on right now with like our children being born early and being in the NICU. So I'm just gonna cut right to it. Basically, the day after I filmed my last video, day in the life of a NICU mom during a pandemic or whatever, everything changed. They changed the visiting restrictions at the hospital to basically no visitors coming and going. So they locked the NICU down. And what that meant was whatever parent was gonna stay was gonna stay. And it was only one parent per child, and because we have two children, we had the option for each of us to go. But once you were in by a certain time, you were not allowed to leave again and then return. So they would let you leave, but that'd be it. That would just be you leaving the hospital, and you would see your children again when they were released. So we got that call on a Wednesday, and we had until basically that Sunday to decide. Technically it was a Friday, but if you visited between Friday and Sunday and left, that was it. But you could come in anytime between Friday and Sunday to stay. And anytime after Sunday you weren't allowed to come. And if, like I said, if you came in between Friday at 8 a.m. and then Sunday at 6 p.m., you had to stay. Or there was no like coming and going at that point. So we had basically 2 days to figure it out what we were gonna do. I knew in my heart that I had really no option. I have to be home with my big boys. Like, they needed their primary parent who is taking care of them day in and day out, keeps their routine. I'm now crisis schooling my 8-year-old. And my husband is the one who works like a crazy person. And I'm the one who is in the trenches with the boys all day long. So not much would really change for them for me to stay home. And I'm really the only one who's trained to do that right now. Like, that hasn't been a part of my husband's job. He takes care of our kids. He helps me, he does all that. But as far as like most of the time, it's me. I'm the one who is day in and day out, keeping things running, doing all of the meals, and doing baths every day, and keeping them on any type of schedule. That's just what I'm doing, and it's what I'm good at. So it's literally my job. I'm a stay-at-home mom, so it is my job. So and I love it. And I just knew that it was not possible for him to suddenly start that role. And being that our babies were born so early and they're in the NICU now, they have 24-hour nursing care, and their biggest job and goal is to rest and grow. And so they aren't touched or fussed with a lot in the NICU. They have to just kind of be left to rest. And so I knew that meant that my husband was going to have a lot of downtime if he were to stay there. And he could go between both babies, and it would still allow him to work. There's like an area, and if you remember in my video where I showed the room tour of the NICU, there's an area in there where he kind of just has it to himself, and he would be able to work still, because his job pretty much consists of making phone calls all the time. So that really wouldn't have to change that much, because while he's in there, he has a lot of free time, and he has people taking care of the babies all the time. So basically, we didn't want him to burn through his paternity leave so that I could selfishly be the one that was with the babies when he is perfectly capable of bonding with them just the same way I am, and also managing things from in there while I'm managing things from out here. So I knew that was the right thing to do. It was not an easy thing to do. I am addicted to my children, all 4 of them, and to suddenly just cold turkey leave them, I just met them, you know? And it's been awful. I mean, I am blessed in so many ways. Number one, they're the safest they could possibly be. They are in a pretty sterile environment with no one coming or going, in a hospital with all of the personal protective equipment that they could ever want. There are no shortages in this hospital. It's extremely clean. I mean, they are the safest people ever right now, right? Like, that's a huge blessing. we are also blessed that we are in a situation where my husband is able to do this and still work and not have to activate his paternity leave, and hopefully be able to just do that when they come home. And we're also in a place where I also don't have to work, so I'm able to do this with my sons. And I'm not like feeling pulled like, oh, you know, how are we going to make this work? Like, we're blessed that this isn't a possibility. However, it doesn't make it any easier on the heart. It doesn't make it any easier as a mother to just not get to touch your children. I mean, my husband still is, like I said, working all the time. I don't get like updates for them during the day as much as I'd want. He does his best, but I mean, it is the hardest thing I have ever done, ever. Being a single mom at home with them for the most part, I mean, isn't the tough part. It's just not being all together, not having half of my family. You know, we're a family of 6 and 3 of us cannot see the other 3 of us. It's awful. My kids miss their dad. He obviously misses them like crazy. Like, I don't have to, I feel like all of this goes without saying. It is just so unimaginably difficult. But also an unimaginable blessing that this is even a possibility and that we're able to do this, right? And so that's what we've been doing. I'm in the car right now because this is literally the only opportunity I have to sit down. My 2-year-old has also decided since in the last week that he is done with naps. He just kind of made the decision. I do think it has a lot to do with us being home. We're not burning as much energy because a lot of our activities are based in the house. We do live on a pretty big piece of land where we have a lot of outdoor activities like a trampoline and that kind of stuff. But it's also Florida and it is hot. So we're trying to get out as much as we can, and they've been swimming and that kind of stuff. It just isn't as energy burning, I guess, as if we were like, you know, going to the park, or we would do a lot of activities during the day that we just aren't able to do now. Not to mention, I also am crisis schooling my 8-year-old. So a huge chunk of the day I have to be inside. I can't just like let my little one go run outside by himself. So, our life has just changed. The whole structure of our life has changed, and we're just trying to make the best of it. I'm trying to look at it as like my last real opportunity to be a mom of 2 kids and spend time with just them, because I know this is probably it. I mean, we're probably never going to have a chance, and I hope that we never have to have it, where I don't see 2 of my kids again. You know what I mean? I want to be able to just kind of look at it that way and say, like, this is a gift that we're really able to do this one last time, and almost ease into the 4 children life in a way that not, sorry, someone just pulled up next to me. I literally am like at the back of the parking lot. There's no one parked out here. All these spots are empty, and someone pulled right next to me. So cool. Anyway, so I'm trying to look at it as an opportunity to my husband is getting the full crash course in taking care of these babies and getting to know them in a way he probably never really would have been able to, because his job is so consuming at times, and he'll never be the sole parent to these kids again, most likely. Like, I can hope. I mean, nobody wants to be a single parent to any children. I'm sure that's not the plan for most people. And especially when you are someone who is married with other kids, you hope that that's never something you're ever presented with again. And we're able to do it in a way that is honestly safest for everybody and in everyone's best interest. So, and honestly, if I think about it, I don't know how else we really would have done it if I'm still running my 8-year-old back and forth to school and my husband is the one at home working. Like, he's obviously not able to be also doing the NICU runs and stuff if we're doing in and out. And if schools weren't closed right now, like, honestly, I don't really know how else we would have done it. I'm sure we would have, like, it would have been a different set of circumstances that you would have just done like this, but it's working, but it is painful. And I'm just really trying to, like, continuously remind myself, like, this is so clearly done for a reason, outside of our control, and it's blatant. Like, it's so obvious, like, why this has all happened the way that it has. Even so much, and I'm gonna do another video about this when I do the birth story, about just like how my whole perspective on this has totally changed, and how it's just changed my perspective on almost everything, and how drastically that's happened. I'm gonna like kind of include that in there, if the birth video isn't too long. But basically, this is the only feasible way for it to work, and it's working pretty much as well as it possibly could, considering all the circumstances. So that's what we're doing right now. I'm at home with my boys, and I'm keeping their life as absolutely normal as possible, whatever that means for us right now. I'm doing schooling every day, just like, I'm sure all of you are, if you have kids at home right now. I'm still trying to keep our same bedtime and same food schedule and just kind of keep everything running, while not going insane out of just like grief and stress like we all have right now. I mean, this is difficult. It doesn't matter if you have other extenuating circumstances. It's difficult. It's scary. There's a lot of unknown. So, I mean, I'm telling you all these things that you already know, but I just kind of wanted to give you guys an update on what's happening. There are so many different challenges to balance out all of the blessings that come with it. I don't know if anybody's marriage is set up for a situation like this. I don't know if even the strongest marriage is set up to be separated, and it's a long distance relationship, but so much so that I'm depending on him to give me, he's the breath of life for these babies to me. Like, I don't have any other way. I can call the nurses and get updates, but he's the one who's supposed to be providing me with photos and videos and all that stuff, but he's also working all the time. So I'm craving constant interaction with the babies that I'm not getting, and relying on him for it, and also putting impossible expectations that he fill the void that I have. So there's that kind of challenge. I miss him all the time. I haven't touched him in since, you know what I mean? Like, I just miss that. I miss any type of normalcy with him, not to mention I miss my kids, So there's just all these different facets of difficulty, while also providing almost peace of mind. I don't have to worry about my babies anymore. Like, I don't have to worry because I can't feel them in my stomach, because I never did. Obviously they're surrogacy children, so I no longer have to worry about that aspect of it, because they are Earthside and they are being cared for by the best of the best. And my husband's there. So, like, it's not like I'm locked out and I have no way to get, you know what I mean? So I'm just trying to look at those kind of things in this, and just remember how, number one, this is such a flash of time for us in the grand reality of our whole life. I don't think that we'll think back to this time and remember how painful it was. I think we will I will anyway, really try to remember how blessed we were because there's so many people who can't protect themselves, their children. They probably wish they could put their newborns, or any of their kids, lock them up in a safe place in hospital where there aren't these variables coming in and out of their life. And you were assuring that people were always clean, touching them, always washing their hands because it's their rules. You know what I mean? Like, how many people wish that you could do that with your kids right now? I wish I could do that with my other two kids, and assure that there's somebody there all the time making sure that they are clean and safe and protected, and mandating that there aren't strangers in and out of their life right now touching them and adding germs to the situation. So I have to remember that in all this, and I have to keep saying it out loud, because if not, I will get into like a deep blue depression about it, because I miss them, obviously. But I hope that I will never have to miss them again. Like, I hope that this is it, and that I never will have to be without them for however long again. I will briefly tell you that they are doing wonderfully. They have exceeded everybody's expectations so far. The doctors, the nurses, mine. The textbooks even, like, they're just doing things that they shouldn't be doing at their age. They're just 32 weeks, and they are just blowing everyone's minds. And I'm gonna do an update on that as well, separately, so that if you clicked on this not expecting that kind of update, you don't have to hang around for it. But I just wanted to let everybody know, count your blessings, hug your kids tight, and just remember how precious every moment is with them. I know that, once again, I'm saying things that are totally obvious, especially I'm sure that a lot of people have thought about this in the current climate of what's going on. And I have to also remember that there are people worrying about losing their loved ones right now because of what's going on. Not, oh, I'm stuck inside my house and oh, I can't get to the store and I can't find toilet paper. There's people who have loved ones on death's door. And so in the grand scheme of things, this is not as bad as that. And, but it is a good reminder to like, to just cherish right now as best as you can, because yes, there are people who are stuck inside with their kids and that's hard, but there's also people who are trapped away from their kids and that's hard too. So it's really stressful one way and it's really stressful the other way, because there are times when I just look at my kids and I'm like, ah, like your brother and sister are so much easier right now, like why can't I just, but then I remember like I would be absolutely sick without if I were in my husband's position right now, because I am so attached obviously to my other boys as well. But the other kind of element that went into this was when I had my little guy, my 2-year-old, my 6-year-old at the time almost lost me then and was separated from me being in the hospital. I couldn't do that to him again. I had to remember that that was another element to this, and he's kind of used to my husband going in and out because he travels, and he is not used to not being with me. So that kind of sealed the deal, and I was like, well, I'm obviously not gonna leave him. So things have been hard, but things have also been wonderful in contrast. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that, and forgive me for having to film in my car. I appreciate it if you made it this far. Look for a birth video coming soon. I really wanted to do that next after the last one, but then this happened and I've just not been in, number one, I've not had any free time, obviously. And I'm able to do this today. My grandma came over with the boys and is gonna spend an hour or so that's wonderful. I got to go to the post office, which was glorious. I did all the safety things. I've got a box of gloves and a box of masks down there, and I've been doing everything I'm supposed to, safety first. But look forward to the detailed birth story coming very soon, and I'm praying for all of you guys. Continue to pray for us if you pray. I hope everyone is safe and not dealing with too much drama, coronavirus drama. I feel like that's a bad word right now. Like you don't even want to say that, but I hope everyone's safe and happy, and I will talk to you guys very soon.